And a packed arena at the University of Mississippi as thousands gathered for a Turning Point USA event honoring the late Charlie Kirk. The event featured Vice President Vance and Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika Kirk, who urged students to carry on Charlie Kirk's legacy. Take a look.
It was a night of emotion, but deep optimism at Ole Miss on Wednesday, where Turning Point USA hosted one of its largest campus events since the group's founding. Student Chapter President Leslie Lackman said the event was months in the making, described it as a moment of pride for the university's conservative students.
It is with mixed emotions that I'm standing here at this moment, yet profoundly proud of the event that is happening.
Then came Erika Kirk, widow of Turning Point's founder Charlie Kirk, who told students that courage and faith were at the heart of her husband's message.
This moment, it can either be your breaking point or your wake-up call, essentially your turning point, if you will. And at this moment, every single one of us has a choice to make, whether we stand for freedom or we're just gonna fall for everything else.
Kirk told students they were living through what she called a battle for the soul of a generation, urging them to speak out about their beliefs and not give in to fear.
You can't change a nation if you're enslaved to fear. And you can't call out corruption if you're still chained to comfort. And you can't stand for truth if you first do not kneel before the Lord.
She said her husband's assassination strengthened her faith and urged students to contemplate on why their rights were so precious.
And Charlie would say this all the time. Your rights don't come from the government, they come from God. And he knew what every founding father knew, and nearly almost every university has forgotten, that you cannot have freedom without virtue, and you cannot have virtue without God.
Vice President J.D. Vance followed with a speech that mixed personal tribute with political conviction, recalling the phone call he received the day Charlie Kirk was shot.
And I remember thinking, what a terrible tragedy for that family. And the second thing that I thought was, what a terrible tragedy for the United States of America.
Vance praised Kirk as one of the most influential voices of his generation and repeated what he said was Kirk's most important advice to students.
Charlie wanted you, more than anything, to invest in the things that were worth having, to build a life that was worth building. And that started, the most important advice he ever gave you was fall in love, get married, and start a family. And I can't honor Charlie without repeating that most important advice.
Vance also reiterated why the conservative movement is so adamant about defending freedom of speech.
And that's why, my friends, that's why we care so much about free speech, as Charlie lived and died for the basic principle that we ought to be able to talk about our differences, we ought to be able to debate them, and we ought to have faith that the best way to make sure that the best idea wins is to actually just have a discussion.
The night ended with a call to action for students to take leadership in their communities and in the nation Charlie Kirk helped shape.
If you care about this country, love it enough to get involved in the process and how we govern it. That is the only way we are going to save the United States of America, and that is perhaps the greatest contribution that you can make to Charlie Kirk's legacy is getting involved in saving this country. I'm in the fight, and I know every single one of you are with me. God bless you, and thank you for having me.
The Turning Point USA spokesperson said on X that more than half the student body of Ole Miss registered for the event, around 14,000 people. According to Chapter President Lackman, the organization's decision to hold an event here shows that the University of Mississippi is at the forefront of Charlie Kirk's movement.